All right, hello, hello. Sorry about that. Just starting a tad late. Uh, coffee, coffee, coffee. You guys know how that is. I needed to get that coffee in there. Got to get that fix in. All right. Anyway, I conjured him up. Sound is good. No, 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 no. I looked down and I realized I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna have enough coffee to make it through today. Now today, obviously, better day than yesterday. Yesterday turned into lots of napping, cuddling. Um, the boy turned slight Jedi. Whacked a few people. Can't lie. And markets, they kind of got hit. It was kind of funny to watch. I got to say, we've been mentioning this too. Talking about how the bonds market already knew what the Fed was going to do, but yet the stock market was like, "Nah, it's fake news." Nah, I know that they said that. Nah, they don't really mean that. They're not like the stock market was absolutely delusional, and it seems like yesterday was the first time they were like, "Holy crap, he is serious," right? Um, I don't know. I guess they thought that Powell was bluffing, but again, if you're the Fed president, you don't have a sense of humor. So I feel like to assume that they didn't really mean what they said, and then one of the things that they did mention, right, was you know the next bits of data, the employment data, and obviously CPI are going to be the next big ones, and yeah, this non-farm number not looking good because wow, more hiring back seems like we're not killing the economy, which means got a lot more work to do. There was an interesting take yesterday that somebody had on CNBC. They were talking about, hey, listen, they can't really go back to point five. It's more of like the how many more times are we going to raise it? Um, Obviously, things have changed, but to go to 25 and then have to go back up to 50 shows a level of incompetence that the Fed probably wouldn't do. And this is why they said that we didn't want to, risk doing this. So, eh, it is what it is. Stock market panics even with good news from what I've seen over the past 1 night. Yeah, I mean, the reality is, Neuro. I mean, if you are a belief that when interest rates become so restrictive, it will hurt the economy. I mean, that is true. We know that that happens. Again, the stock market has been very delusional. Like, nah, it's not a big deal. Not real, right? Bond market has adapted. Everybody else has really adapted to it, but the stock market not so much. And that's why we saw the runs that we did yesterday. And again, you see employment data today, and Dow's down. I think a nice little chunk already today. So it's interesting. A no exit ramp for Powell or for Fed's Powell until he creates a recession. Economists say. It's an interesting headline, right? Right. It's an interesting headline. Yeah, there's that. Um, yeah, Powell sends the 2 year above 5%. It ignites powerful dollar rally. Of course, right? And that's on top of obviously Bank of Canada leaving rates unchanged as growth stalls, right? And again, this is where the resilience comes back again a little bit. So, yeah, interesting. Yeah, yeah, chew on that a little bit, right? Um, So yeah, I mean, you look at the pip changes in the last 24 hours. I mean, is there any surprise, right? 95, not so much, and it's retracing back right now. 144, not so much. Again, retracing in the last hour. Dollar yen up 49, not surprising really, right? I mean, because excuse me, you're saying the pound yen down 137, right? Euro pound seeing a little bit of a pound weakness, euro strength coming in. Aussie down a little bit, right? Dollar CAD up, I'd say nice, right? Dollar Swiss also up a little bit. So yeah, so we'll get the CAD data, and then obviously Powell's testifying today. I mean, the big question is, can we get more fireworks today? I don't know. I mean, really, nothing that Powell said yesterday, I think, was earth-shatteringly a surprise, right? Nothing that he said, I was kind of like, ooh, right? None of those things were really necessarily surprising for me. So, I mean, yeah. I wish I would say, yeah, I'm just trying to think back, like nothing really. So, you know, that's what we're dealing with today. Obviously, Jolts is going to be a big one as well. And I'm actually kind of surprised that Jolts isn't lower. I mean, last time we had that major surprise, right? It was expected to be 10.2. It came up at over 11. Right now, they're not saying that it's going to be necessarily adjustment either. And it's going to come back down to 10.6, but that's still higher than it's been. And, you know, Is this, this was always, they said it was going to be the biggest demand driver, right? The inflation driver was going to be the jobs market, right? Because we had 11 million job openings, but only 500,000 people looking for jobs. Obviously, it's probably more than that now because a lot of companies are laying people off. But yeah, yeah. So, all right, here you go, right here, zero hedge. Goldman expects nearly a 1 million drop in tomorrow's job opening. So maybe it goes from 11.1 to 10.1, right? 11.1 to 10.1. So that's what Goldman's saying, right? So help ignite some of it. But even if it's 10, does that solve all our problems? I mean, the answer is no. If there's, they say 5.5 million people looking, but 10 million jobs, it's still double, right? Yeah, people are getting laid off, and it's funny because, not funny, but um, it's funny to the sense that there's this many job openings, but yet like people in tech can't find jobs. I have a friend that's she's been out of work now for 2.5 months, almost three. So again, there are people that just can't find jobs. A couple like online marketers, or like media people, not marketers, not like telemarketers, I think that like that do ad design and things like that. They're like, yep, anybody know anybody? We'll take something sideways or even down at this point. It's been 2 months. People are just not hiring back in those arenas. So yeah, yeah. So this is what we got for today. Again, Jolt is going to be a big one. Powell testifying again. There could be landmines all over the place today. I think overall the sentiment was we expected dollar strength to come in, and that's what we're seeing right now. And tomorrow morning we got some monetary policy statements coming out of Japan, as well as unemployment claims. I think this one right here could be, it's considered a medium. I'm very curious to see what this one is, right? Again, 195 is not really a big number. That's not a gigantic number at all. I mean, anything under 200,000 is considered like nothing. So, this, a lot of people getting hired back. Does this number even go lower? And if it does, right, say it comes in at 190 or 185, right, which is historically a low number, right? I mean, what does that do? I mean, everybody that's like, nah, the Fed's going to lower it. I mean, they thought they were going to cut at the end of this year, and then the Fed was like, no. Even Boston was like, nah, at the earliest, and this is pushing it earliest, the end of 2024, which is over a year, and they had factored in 1% worth of cuts this year, right? Which is not happening, right? I mean, I don't think there's any way we can be any more clear that it's not happening. So I don't know. I mean, next 2 days there definitely could be some wildness, some craziness in the markets. Now here's the VIX. Right. Obviously, yesterday with the talk, I mean, there was the spiking all over the place, and it just continued to get worse and worse and worse. And it's like, oh my God, what's happening? Right. Right now, I mean, again, you're looking at the dollar, right? The dollar monsters push up, and then it's starting to kind of pull back again, which kind of, I mean, Powell's not speaking yet. We don't have the data yet. You would expect a bit of a pullback. I mean, this is a huge rally from yesterday, right? Yesterday morning at 2:30 a.m., the Europeans were like, we know what's happening. And the Europeans stepped in, and then Powell stepped in right here. Nobody was fooled, right? But then again, profit taking has to come in. And late last night, almost 24 hours later, is when we started to see the roll. And it's pushing back down again. And you would expect to see this, right? Profit taking, right? Get out before he starts talking again, right? So, big question is, again, looking at something like this, whenever you see a huge rally up like this and you see a bit of basing there and then kind of a slowed push, there is kind of like a Harry Potter trade setting up in there. But at the same time, this is a level, right? Could price push back down? Could there be buyers right here? And could this go crazy again? Could we see 106 later on today? I think it's a very real possibility. To assume that, you don't see any more dollar strength today. I mean, what could Powell say today that we don't already know, though, right? Maybe the duration. I don't know, right? I mean, excuse me. I wasn't surprised yesterday. I don't know. Maybe he'll surprise me today. Maybe he'll say something that's like, oh, right. But so far, I think it's just going to be more of the same. Yep, we're raising interest rates. Yep, got to go into recession. That's normal. It's okay, people. Don't worry about it. So I don't know. So, but again, if this was not the dollar, if this was anything else out there, after big push up in price, you'd be looking for some basing here, looking for a drop. So, maybe look at the dollar index. Maybe if we can break over this 105.25 area, know that there's a bit of a racetrack back down to 104.60. So maybe we have a decent time of some dollar weakness coming in the next 24 hours, right? You got to keep that look there. Now, as far as the indices goes, they're more or less mixed, right? Minus what? 0.2, up 0.02, up 0.02, down 0.2, right? So kind of where they were from yesterday. And again, right now, I think they're in so much shock after yesterday's declines. I mean, obviously, you can click on any of these and like, oh God. And right now, the Europeans haven't really done much with it, right? But again, this was all that pain from yesterday. Are we set for a parabolic retracement? Will he say something today that's so good that we rally all the way back up again? Or at this point, do the bears have a firm hold on this one, saying, "Oh God, we're below 4,000 in the ES"? You know what that means? You know, I mean, the scary part is again we have Russell under 19, we have the ES under 4,000, and NQ is within close proximity. It's 160 points away from you know from breaking that 12,000 mark, right? And then again, we're under 33,000 for the Dow. So I mean, they're all kind of under big levels right now. And if he adds more fuel to the fire today, is the end coming now because the stock market has refused to acknowledge it? Maybe. Now, commodities, we got a little bit of a break here, right? Instead of being over 80, we're back down to 76. And oil, natural gas is back down to 260, down 3% today, which is great. Gold and silver are up slightly, but obviously we had the big push down again. You can see we had the run up before the European session. The Europeans were not fooled, right? Half of the move was European session. The other half was in the U.S. session. They were like, let's do this. Let's join forces, right? Wonder twin powers unite is really what we saw. Now we're seeing it rally up again. So are we preparing? Are sellers getting ready again? I think there's, Powell starts at what, 10 o'clock today? Yeah, he starts at 10 o'clock in 13 minutes. Is this rallying up for, and again, I'll put this here because it'll take a little while to get here. Like, is this rallying up for more gold shorts? Could be, right? Could be. And again, take some simple fib draws. How's those apples, right? Not only do we have a impulse correction basing move with a nice push out, but it also happens to be at a 23.6. And it's coming into 10 o'clock when Powell's getting ready to talk again. Got to be looking at those kinds of things, right? So, yeah, so there's some very interesting. It's like, get your peanuts, get your popcorn. What other candies are there, right? Get your extra large 64-ounce soda, right? Your Sprite. Get your liter of cola, right? So, yeah. Anyway, let's start looking. So they're all pretty much going to be the same. Looking at this here, this was that Aussie data that we talked about, right? Coming in late Monday night. And we didn't get to talk about it, but what happened? What happened before the news came out? It rallied up, and started the base in time for the news, and then boom, right back down again, right? And that's kind of what we're looking for. And what did it do? It hit, right? It based along the top. Oh, it's going to break. It came down in base. You're like, there you go. There's your entry, and there's your continued push to the downside. And all it did was it rolled right into what we saw in the U.S. session. So now we can remove some of these things. Let's take them off. Let's take this out. Take this out. Let's pull a lot of these old things up. Again, that's what happens when you got to catch up over 2 days. But again, easy rally up before news, a base, wait for news, and again, you can see how far it pushed. Now, we did push all the way back down. So we are in an area where we kind of bounced off of it, and we've been basing in here a lot, pushing up and down. It's kind of hard. It's definitely moved well outside of its range. I would say, if anything, I'd be looking more for kind of a continuation. I just, there's not really a coinciding level with this one. It is an area where we talked about buyers coming in, but this is what the zone looked like, right? There was the original formation. There was the push, and the push was actually about to there, right? So we're kind of at a room. There is a little bit of a zone below, right? Question is this zone right here? Let me see if you guys can see it. Is this zone here good enough to hold back Powell saying he's going to raise interest rates? Right? I don't know. I just don't. I like the fact that the red is the lower. I like the green. I would have liked more of an explosion. I like that it's sitting right below. We know we got a racetrack sitting here. So, I mean, again, this is already primed for a fall all the way down to 64.15, right? I mean, there's a 200 pip drop in this one possible, right? But what is the hiccups? Where do the hiccups look? I mean, price is here right now, right? And we're pulling back. And, that's kind of, again, you can see it went just a little bit lower. Come on. That little bit lower is here. So the question is, we've already banged off of, we know there's buyers there. Here, I can, here. So we know that's where we got a zone, but will that hold again? Right? And that's, you can see it. That's exactly what it went off of right there. So I think at this point, I think, oops, there we go. I think we can take this. We're gonna mark it just so it gives us a little bit of space to see, a little more visually. I'd probably only do that into there, but it's probably too small. It's 9. It's not bad. It's more like that. Right. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Now, there's a piece there, but Pal says, "Oh yeah, guess what? It's one day later. We're still raising interest rates. Technically, this thing still drops." So, um, I think an important way. I think a way to play this one is we look for a drop below 65.52. If we can get that drop, we look for a pullback. Um, Again, it's 16 pips. It's not anything earth-shatteringly huge. If you look to see 1 to 3 wise, that's what it looks like. Right, that's what it looks like. Okay, so in the grand scheme of things, this one goes down to 65.03. Again, 65 is great. 65.03 is right here. So a little bit past that, but what do we got stopping it? Not a lot, right? Not a lot on that one. So kind of what I'm looking for right here. And again, seeing it rally up right now, totally cool with that. Awesome, yeah. How's that for pulling back up to old levels, right? Up, 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 up. Just push this across, and where do we start? Right down, and then we had a little Harry Potter right here, right? A break of 93. I'm sorry, 91.36. I'm sorry, 91.31. Question is, did you get the entry in there? Maybe you did. Maybe you didn't. On the 15, it's not. It went up, it went down, so there is kind of the base there, but it would have been dependent on how aggressive you wanted to be, right? You kind of needed to drop down to get the entry on this one. But again, we were talking about smashing through 91. 91 is here, and then we push farther, 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 and now we're sitting at lows again. So, question is, let's see, let's take some of these off. Again, this one is out. Yep, we can take that confirmation off. There you go. Pull this, pull this, pull this, pull this. I don't need that. Take this. I don't know what I just did. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, interesting top. Look at that. Look what it bounced right off of. Right. It's actually not a horrible short. Midnight. Did go slightly above though. Hmm. Right now, I mean, this one looks like it's more of an up, but question is, do you want to mess with Pal? Hmm. It did. Look at that. Look at that. 18. Hmm. I don't know if I'd use that again. I mean, you can see there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. It is an old level. We typically don't like to hit them multiple times. It is a 23.6, but remember, it's already triggered as a 23.6. Kind of once, not necessarily twice, but kind of once or twice. It's already triggered. Question is there anybody else sitting there? I think at this point, I mean, I don't know that this can rally up, but if anything, I would say that this is probably our next cleanest short. Again, this one is already triggered here. We'll pull it off. That Harry Potter's done. Come on. Let's see. I do like this though. Look at these candles. Look at these wicks, right? One, lower, lower, one candle base, boom. It's really that JOLTS data. If it was just Powell speaking, I'd feel better about this, but I'm worried about that JOLTS data. I feel like it's going to pop, and I just don't know if that's going to hold it. I feel like if that JOLTS data comes in, if Goldman is right, and that comes in at 10, and there was a miss by, half, um, I feel like this comes in at 10. I feel like this jumps, right? I feel like this has the ability to jump. Will this hold it? I just don't know. It's 40 pips, so if we can get a solid spike up because of that news, yes, it could be a reversal, but I want to see a confirmation. I want to see a red, green, red in there on a lower time frame. Not bad. If we can pump all the way up, I don't think we can. I think this is way too far all the way up, 116 pips. It's just too far, right? I mean, I guess it could, but it would have to be a major move. And again, it would be more of a parabolic retracement move on that fact. So, it's in there. I do feel like it will pop. But I don't think Powell's message is any different today. I think Powell's message is exactly the same. Yeah, we're still raising interest rates. We're going to go farther. Don't know where you guys got those numbers at. It's nice that you believe that. So, yeah. Yeah, I just don't think we. There's a lot of things in this one. This is the unknown right now. If it was just Powell, I'd be cool with it. But the jolt is like, ugh. So yeah, if it pops, they're. I think get a confirmation entry off 90.80. I think you can take this lower. I think it does have the ability to go even lower. We know from this level right here, it's not a super clean racetrack, right? It's not one or two candles. It's not like these big solid green bars, but it chopped. I think it can roll back down. And again, I think gold's going to come under fire as well. And again, the United States being extremely bullish. I don't think again. Australia is not going to be going lockstep with raises, so they are going to have to slow down, and all their data is really sitting over here, right? We got another day before their data really kicks in, so yeah, a little pop, I think we take it. Euro dollar, seeing a pullback. Again, you guys can see this one got sliced through yesterday at 10 o'clock. It was nowhere close to the news. This would have been a news release time, and it wasn't. You can see that there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. It's like, maybe if we're there for news, but we weren't. We were up here, so it had a kind of a running start. Right? A running start to get through that one. So let's pull these off. Validates that level could be used later on, but we'll pull it. We'll pull it right now. Let's run from some fibs. Let's see. See, it's running this. I was wondering if this was there. Look at that. It's bracketed right on there. I'm going a little bit lower. Let's pull this. By the way, there's your break from yesterday. Tuesday morning. And yeah, look at that. You guys know what that's called, right? A break of a prior level, went down, based, pulled back up, and whoop. We'll see what Jolt is. Starting to pull back. This is like a Harry Potter trade, but I don't think at this point. I mean, it did bounce off of it. Nice target. We are cleared till. Let's see what Jolt is. So Cat did exactly as expected. Come on. Cat is weakening versus the dollar, which you'd expect. Yeah. There you go. That's not what the indices wanted for today, right? So Goldman was off by 800,000 jobs. Goldman's like, we're going to see a 1 million drop. No, Goldman, you kind of missed it, bud. Whoever wrote that for Goldman, no coffee for him today. Decaf for the rest of the week, right? Decaf and menthols for the rest of the week for that guy or girl. I don't know. It could be a girl too. I don't know. I'm equal opportunity. But yeah, the forecast was there. It dropped a little bit. But again, this is the jobs numbers that Powell was mentioning yesterday. Now Powell was allowed to talk about the jobs numbers that he obviously did have yesterday. But talking about how, again, This is a major driver of inflation. I'm sure Powell's looking at this right now and be like, yeah. I mean, he already knows what it is, obviously, because he's testifying right now. So he obviously could have the data a little bit early. But I'm sure this is not really kind of what he wanted to, this is not what the indices want, right? Lot more jobs out there. Again, this is a major driver of inflation. So looks like the Fed's going to have to do more. Yeah. So are we surprised? No. Did it get to a pullback level? Nope. Unfortunately, it did not. Did any of these get up in time? Look, they're all starting to turn from there, as they should. I mean, it's the right move. God, so close. So close. Euro pound. All right. So euro pound. All right. So we're still looking for a short here. This hasn't changed. But the good thing is we came and bounced off that level. Okay. So we may do a little bit of an adjustment off of that. We do have some basing. So when we do finally roll with the euro pound, again, the euro pound has selling up in here. It's obviously been there before. Let's see if we can get through it now. Maybe because, again, 1, 2, 3. We're at 3, 4. 3, 4. There could be some adjustment or to the base here or to the base over here. Okay, so I still think this is a valid trade. We're looking for a breakthrough at 88.88. We pulled back, and again, the fact that we found buyers here, I think it's awesome. That's great. That means that there were buyers here. We were right? The old sellers became new buyers. So that's what we're looking for. Check the box. Getting ready for a short here. And again, this is definitely high in the curve up at 89. For me, my belief is 86 is like the equilibrium point for this one. So high in the curve. We just need some type of a comment or something out of the UK. Right now, we're getting all EU-based data. So, yeah, I mean, this is one of those ones. 88.88, keep it on your radar. Set yourself an alert when it does break through 88.88. I mean, ideally, we'd like to see what it does at this base first. But, again, I think there's a short here coming back down to 88.64. Okay. Euro yen. All right, so euro yen. We came back up, and we knew we were going to have problems here at the 78, and we did. We kind of cranked around back and forth and went a little bit above, and then, again, it used it as a kind of a selling point for a few different places here. Let's see. Again, this is the channel we've had drawn. We're still kind of just going down the middle of that channel. 1, 2. Really in this one? I mean, how much more do we got? About 36 pips. I feel 143.98 or this 144 mark, right? We're so close. Let's just bring it right up to the 144 mark. It's an area where we've seen some selling or some buying. Again, it held the rally. It kind of gave us the confirmation to push back off again. I think right now that's really where the target needs to be. Like we bring this over here. I'm going to screw it up again, but right there. Whoop, I didn't do it. I think right now this is your downside target. What happens at 144, I think really matters a lot. There's a decent level down here. Again, it stopped this big charge. It gave us a new bottom. You could actually draw a little bit more refined level. I'd like to see it come down. And again, I'm just saying, I think right here, in this zone right here, I think this could give us the potential for somewhat of a reversal. It's about, like I said, one time it stopped the parabolic move. It gave us the complete retracement. It's there. Again, the overnight's been there. Again, we're seeing that yen kind of strength roll back in, but I feel like, after yesterday into today, I feel like we're going to run out of steam here. I'm just feeling reversal. I know it goes kind of against what we're seeing inside of the euro pound. But I think we're starting to get to the overextended mark. Now, if you zoom this back a little bit, you can see we are high in the curve. We typically want to look for shorts there, right? We typically want to look for shorts. But I think right now it becomes our target for the downside short. And then, again, we do have some clearing. So if we can maneuver and start basing and using this 144 area, I do think there's a short below it. And I think that this is my belief right here. I think this is where the Harry Potter trade comes in, right? The reality is it could come in here or it could use this level to base since that's where the buyers are. It may use this level to bounce off of to pull back up again. But if you look at what happened here, we had a down and a straight up again. So this is kind of racetrack territory from here to here inside of a short, right? Actually, it should be, put it there, right? So we know we got a bit of a racetrack right there. The question is, are we using orange or are we using red? So I'd really like to come down and sit. And again, if it fails, if it doesn't give us the confirmation higher, then I'm looking to pull the trigger in again, wherever the base occurs inside of these 3 boxes. I like the orange the best. That's my favorite. But again, if it bases inside of the red and uses the orange level to bounce off of, that's where we'll get our V from. So be it. There's nothing else we can do about it. But my kind of preliminary look at this is something along the lines of there. And you can see, look to the left, right? Dotted line, it's well within the target of where this should be, right? Target for this one should be sitting approximately there, right? Right. You can see that's at the bottom of the 1 to 3. So not lost on me. Now, if you're going to set an alert on this one, I would say, I'd like to see it go through here, right? If I was going to set an, if you're going to set an alert on that one, right? We just pulled the trigger on that one. 143.78, right? That gives us kind of the bottom side of the base here. If it bases in the green, great. But I do like this one. I like this one short. Again, I don't know. I'm thinking this is what it looks like, but I want to see when it comes down where it forms the actual base on the top side, right? But I'm looking for something along those lines. And again, 14 pips for 45 in the other direction. I think it's a fine trade. All right. So, but again, we got to bounce off 144 first. Pound yen or pound dollar, right? Again, quick spike down, quick spike back up again with the jobs number. Again, low on the curve. We're trying to find buyers down here. Our target got hit. You can see that it came down and started the base. Look at this. Look at the base right in the middle, right? Right in the middle, and then came back and pulled that same level. So we know we've hit this now. Let's grab fibs and pull fibs down. Wow, you can see there's a big discrepancy with that. No pullback, no pullback. Again, targets all hit. Smash, smash, smash. This is old. We're going to pull that off too. All right, let's see. This off. All right, so we got one hiccup here. Get this one hiccup, and then we hit 170. There's our hiccup. We're 118.22 right now. Should actually say 117, not 170. I got so excited. 170 is a little different than yeah. Mistype. I think we're just looking for sellers in this one. Oh, there's sellers right there. There are some sellers at the 23 if we take just the overnight high to low. Probably going to be selling there. It'd be nice if we pulled back to that, but we didn't. That's a risky one. That's a pretty decent hit. Right? Boom, boom. This is hit number 3, though. Wish we had a better base. Drop. Unfortunately for this one, I think, I mean, by the way, I jumped up to the 4 hour if you're wondering why your charts look differently right now. I think if we can get up to the 118.55, I think, again, right now, based off of 4 hour mark, I think there could be something said that, hey, listen, this one has the ability to go lower, right? Again, I don't think the pound's in a great place. They're not going to be able to outpace the US on this, and I definitely think there's going to be more bullish data, particularly what we've seen. I mean, right now, ADP's there, and, and the JOLTS data are both in the dollar strength direction. Now the question is, again, it's Wednesday. Will we start to pull back again? We got a bunch of pound data, right? Month over month, U.S. data. I mean, so there's a lot in here. Claim accounts, inflation. In the next, which one is this one? Oh, it's Tuesday next week. Right? There's the magic number right there. Oops, not crosshair. Not crosshair. This is the big boy, right? This is the big boy, the non-farm number. Um, I'd love. I really want to pull back, right? Question is, can we hit this, push down again, grab this, and then take off, right? This is what I want to see before Friday's news. Not here. It could be anywhere, right? It could be down here. I don't care. I just want to see up before that news. I want to know if we can break through this from now till then, or if we start to flatline. I think right now the only longs you have in this one are probably around the 117 mark. I don't know that this is going to be long. It's the third hit on there. It's okay. It's a while back. Right now, I'd say it's probably more of a target if we can come down to 117.85. Make sure you get out of this trade a little bit early, but I think there could be a decent bounce from it. But the problem is right now, I mean, the only thing we have is there is a little bit of a basing level from a high to low in the overnight. It's a weird fib draw. It's not from like, if you take it from its most recent peak, it's not even the high, right? So there's a lot in there for that one. Question is, today's data was big, right? Today's data is big. Tomorrow, not as big. And then all of a sudden, bam, we start, the non-farm payroll change. And again, it's and the unemployment rate's not moving either, right? So, 3.4 is like crazy low. So, yeah, I'd be looking for a pullback. The question is, where do we take this one short later in the week? So, yeah, this is a decent one for today. If we can, for some reason, if we do rally up, it may be a decent short. But I think at this point, again, a lot of the data is out there right now. Again, we got nothing for the pound. Pound yen, again, continue to go lower. And look, 1, 2, 3, 4, chop, chop, chop. And what did it use? The old level, straight down. So, yeah, the assessment hasn't changed on this one. We can run fibs high to low. Both profit targets smashed. We're finally outside of that curve level. Again, where the low is now, the 50 makes sense. We talked about how to base around that one. We're going to leave that one there for right now. Again, we're sitting in basing right now. Problem we talked about with the pound yen is if you look to the left on a lot of these, none of these are really stellar levels. There's a big spike down here, but again, is it a stellar level that it formed off of? Not really. So for the most part, the pound yen, we're kind of clear down to 160. 160 will be a big psychological level. So, I would say more than anything, look for pullbacks on this. But I guess you could run. Obviously, it's got to move quite a bit, right? Right now on a retracement, it's got to move 124 pips. That's quite a big retracement. Maybe if you pull overnight high to low, it kind of cuts that number in half. But there's nothing over there telling us that that's a good spot to enter. Right? There's just nothing sitting there. Maybe if we pull down a little bit lower, you can see if I drag it into the level like right around here, 161.30, about 50 pips lower. Then all of a sudden, the last kind of pullback, right? The correction move, the impulse correction back up again does form a base. If we backstop it with a 50, then that is at least in closer proximity. You're only talking about 60 pips, which absolutely could happen. But again, that requires us to kind of do a couple things, right? It's got to come down, touch, and then pull all the way back up again. So, I would say right now for pound yen, I don't really love a ton with it right now, right? I do think we continue to see the yen strength come back in. I think it pushes down, but unfortunately, there's no levels that I'm really excited over here. Like, yep, that's a great one, love it, all over it. It just there's some of these wicks back and forth when the data came out are just not great for the type of analysis that we use. So, yeah, not really a big fan. Dollar CAD, yeah, rallying as it should. Again, the CAD data came in weak. Again, you come in for your interest rate exactly as expected. That is considered a weak move. And that's all we're seeing. Again, a little bit of chop back and forth, but it's going to continue to rise. So, where does this one slow down? We do have a level a little bit above. It was okay. It's kind of some bigger levels here. Let's go up to a 60. Yeah, you can see there's a little top there. Again, there's this wick, which is just ugly. We'll change it and put it this way. We can kind of see a better zone. So it looks like 139.53, and then again 786, which I don't use for the most part, but I'd say that's probably. Has Pal said anything yet? Powell signaling an increase, right? He's got to talk about the jobs number. I'd say there's probably a reversal. Um, I'm looking at this 138, and again, we're super close to it. I'll just change it to 138. Um, right, it's sitting right there. Okay, 138 could be a level where we see profit taking come in. Like I said, he's not going to say anything different today based off the jobs number. Again, there will have to be profit taking. It's not like CAD is helping on this one because their data, although they have stabilized, it's because of weakness. So again, it's not the strongest CAD data, but there will be profit taking. 138 is a potential level. We have seen it turn around here before in the past. And again, not that it's a 140 or a 150, but a 138 is still a psychological level because of all the zeros. So there's probably a reversal due in here. Um, and again, what I would say is probably I kind of I would like to see this roll down again. I don't know where it's going to roll down to, but probably here, looking to get long again. There is a bit of a racetrack in this one. It's not super clear though. It's ugly. I'd say it's ugly at best. I'd say that there's this piece in here, but I don't know that we'd need a reversal very, very quickly. I don't know that I would use this one for the news, right? I'm going to put it to there. How much risk is that? 18. So it's all right. All it does it brings it back down to the 137 range or 136.60 range. Brings it back down into here. Okay. But kind of the same thing. Look, we talked about the news on there. Drove it right back down. We don't need those levels anymore. That one is fine. 7, 130. Yeah, look for there's a reversal in here. But right now, again, we're seeing just weak CAD data. I think as soon as Powell is done speaking is when the reversal kicks in, right? I don't know how long he's slated to speak this morning. If it's maybe 2 hours, is it 2 hours? It may be 2 hours. Basically, by lunchtime. I think as soon as his testimony is over today is when I think you start shorting. I think right now the market's trying to react to what he's saying. It's the same message as yesterday. With something spiking like this right now, again, that is weak CAD. I think look for this to go a bit higher, and then look for a reversal when he's done talking. So, would like to get this one short, or I'm sorry, long tomorrow. I think the unemployment, although not as huge, you do have some CAD unemployment data in there as well, and the forecast is that it's going up. Again, a little bit more CAD weakness on that one. If they're holding and the unemployment rate is going up, it just shows that the CAD could be in a little bit of problems or a little bit of trouble, right? So again, looking to get long for that news. Dollar Swiss. So dollar Swiss. We'll continue this across. Look at the reversal point right there, all the way back down again. Two different entries off of that one. Again, look at the chop back at this 91. This is why I don't like the 786. Look, peek through, peek up, pop, pop, boom, and then back in again. So that's why I do not like that 78s. But I said I like the top. There's our hit, easy out, looking like it's using 94. Again, this one got blown through yesterday with the talk, which we expected. Let's change our fibs on this one. Go from low to high. By the way, there's your target on Tuesday, 2:30. Let's see what we got here. There we go. All right, so one thing in getting that 23 out there is there's a zone that's been hit here now. You could arguably say it was formed, then it was confirmed right away, and then hit again, and then we just hit it again. Looks like there could be a nice little short. Let's see, how much risk is it? It's 11. That's not bad. There's 11 to your 3.03. On this one, we're going to see buyers step into this market right there. Copy, paste. There you go. So, yeah, so not a bad little trade here in dollar Swiss. And again, remember, it's got a base in here and then push through and then pull back. Change that there. Go here. And we are going to set an alert. And it just happens to be coinciding with 93.60, 93.96. That's good. So again, we're going to get a little bit of help from the 94 on this one. So yeah, again, we see the dollar reversal come in today when Powell stops talking. We should see the pullback. When we see the base, we should see profit taking. And again, if this runs back down again, nice little trade here. What did I say? 11 for 30? Yeah, 11.8. So just say 12 for 36. Not a bad little short, right? And again, set your alert. You can come back to it later. Dollar yen. So, dollar yen. Dollar yen had the big spike yesterday, as we kind of expected. Again, there. Do we need that one? Yeah, we'll delete that one. Here. Again, these guys got to stop. I like that level, but that level was not built for. Oh, look at that. Running from top to bottom. I'm sorry, from bottom to top. Poor people at the 23.6. And look, it did actually pull back. If there was your level at the 23.6, it did give you a little bit of a pullback. So, right now, let's see. Where are we curve-wise on this one? Yeah, way up there. Oh, that wasn't the full one. Let me see. Is that the full one? No, it's not. Let's pull this. When I said full, I just wanted the full. 23. That's right at that base level. And the 50 is down here. We're sitting right in the middle. We're in the middle, 33%. It's funny. Watch this. Ready? You see what it just bounced off of? This is why I love 4-hour zones. Isn't that funny? Look at that. All I did was extend that one across, and look at that. Go 4 hours. Let's make this even a little bit more artificial. I hate that. I wish this 11 o'clock candle from yesterday wasn't there. So here's what I'm looking at right now. Again, it's really a crappy zone. I don't want you guys to think this is a great zone. I don't like how if this red candle wasn't here, be all over it, but it kind of screwed it up for us. We have our touch here. We've had a touch again. It's basing above. It's hitting again. I think it's going to break through. And the reason why I had it marked off and I was dropping it down is there's a little bit of a base here, but this is that oh god, they're going to talk. So it's kind of pre-news move. So I'm looking for this one to kind of pull back down in this 135, 34-ish range. I think it can come down here. I do think it continues the trend today. Like I said, I think all the data is out. I think the market knows and understands that he's going to raise it. I think seeing that data, I think the markets now is like, oh god, we gotta move this thing. But yeah, I think 135. I'm shooting for 135. I think we're gonna have a hard time coming here the 135, 34, but that was a target for us. So, I don't really have a setup for it. I'd like to see what happens when we get in the news, but not necessarily surprised by the way it's reacting right now. Oil continue to push down. We had this one drawn. Again, depending on how you would have taken this one, it did pull back. Unfortunately, again, we talked about a break of 78.32 pushing this to the downside. We were waiting for the pullback. It did give us a pullback. It just didn't touch the bottom end of the zone, so you may or may not have gotten into it. 77.54 was our target. You can see it came down. It based right in the middle. It did exactly what we wanted it to do. It just didn't pull back enough, and then it continued to go lower and has broken all the targets that we had for the bottom side. We talked about it being clear down to the 61.8, and that's about where it made it down to. Basically, this area here. So, as far as oil goes, again, you may or may not have gotten into that one. It sucks that we didn't get the true pullback, but again, the risk was there on it. Again, we talked about this one up here, and this one you were able to see. It kind of did it here. It's not super, super clean. It dropped, it based, even though it was red, and then kind of pulled back very fast. So you may have gotten the short. That one right here, right? That was yesterday at 11 o'clock, right? That was the other short that we talked about. So, this one, it's kind of doing more or less what we thought it was going to do. Let's see. Drag this one up. Yeah, we're having problems. Yesterday, we mentioned that this is kind of where we were like going to see a lot of problems. You can't draw anything when it wicks through like this, really down to the 78.6. So for me, oil, I don't have much on this one until it comes back down to the 70, really the 74-ish level. And even then, it's been touched a few times. I guess, the 61.8 is hit. So, I mean, I'm going to remove it because, again, the 78 doesn't, I don't really care about the 71.8 as much. This is what we're looking at right now. There is obviously basing, and we've kind of pushed off that level. Up until now, it was not a 23.6, but now that we've kind of pushed it down, now that the 23.6 is there. So if we get a little bit of a pop in oil back up to, let's see, put this at the low, put this here. I'd say 77.46 is a potential. Running down about 90 cents. I don't know where the 1 to 3 is. Let me see. 1 to 3 is right there. So I missed it by a little bit. Oops. It's this guy that I want. Come on. It's not going to let me do it. There you go. So, about a buck down, right? About a buck down. If we can pull back, you'll have some, obviously, some pip traders stepping into that one. Natural gas. There we go. Again, huge rally. We talked our huge spike to the downside. We talked about this one going lower. You can see we had a base and we just chopped through it yesterday. Again, chop, 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 chop. And we said, hey, listen, there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. If it hits it or base is above it, there's your hit, there's your pull. You're like, yeah, it's breaking. And it did. Now, it did pull back a little bit. This is a very interesting pullback. I don't know if you guys do this or not. You can see that it kind of started the base and it's like, oh, look, 23.6. And then it went above and it's like, nope. And then came back up and grabbed the same exact level, right? It was kind of one of those like failure to go higher base trades. It's pushing lower right now, and we're kind of calling for this. We're looking for it. I think right now the biggest thing we're looking for is really kind of where the last gap happened down here. I'd like to see this one come down to $2.41. Again, maybe looks like kind of a stretch. I mean, it's down 5% today. Can it continue to do that? Yeah, it can. Remember, this market closes early, so I would expect that it probably runs out of steam a little bit early today. But overall, I'd like to see this one again, kind of just. I don't think it belongs. I don't think it deserves to be up here with that rally at the end of the week. It's like, yeah, sell, sell, sell. Now, with that said, I can tell you last night at practice, we had like an Arctic cold, and there was actually ice this morning out. So, Mother Nature is doing that. Hey, listen, I know it's 71, but guess what? We're going to give you Arctic chills tomorrow, and that's kind of what I had last night with the boys' lacrosse practice. I was freezing by the time I got home. So it's kind of like, hey, we're short natural gas. Like, I got to turn the heater back on. I think 241 is the target. I don't know if we're going to be able to break. We're not. I don't think we're hitting 2 today unless we have something crazy happen. I think what happens is between these two gaps at 241 and then the gap down here right at the 618 pullback at 236. I think we probably have a little bit of an artificial bottom on this one for the week and maybe a little bit of the end of the week rally on it. I don't think we're getting up here unless there is some type of catastrophic event. But for the most part, I think this is probably the last hurrah for this one at 3. I think this continues to deteriorate. And I think right now, being at 254, I would say 2's on my radar before 3. All right. Gold. Why is gold moving right now? Well, gold's moving because, again, people are looking at that data. They're taking the profit. People are trying to react to what he's saying. Let's see. Has Powell said anything else today so far? No decision is made on the pace of the rate hike. So this is what people are looking at. Be like, oh, look, there's still a chance. We haven't made any decision yet about the March meeting. It's data dependent. Okay, so what has all the data been? Needs to go much higher. Terminal rate highly higher than expected. Have important data before March meeting. Haven't seen JOLTS data yet. So he says that, but do you think the top guy, right? You think the top guy would not have, you don't think he's got a smartphone or a watch? Do you think he doesn't know what JOLTS? But look, we haven't made a decision yet. It's all data dependent. I haven't seen JOLTS yet. Okay, so what was JOLTS? Was it good or bad? Right? Well, obviously good for the dollar, right? So yeah. So again, first off, he's lying. He knew what JOLTS data was. I'm just letting you guys know he knew, but he also has a smartphone, a smartwatch, and everybody in their trust me, the first senator that was asking questions, right? Hey, the JOLTS data just came in, it's higher. What do you got to say about that? Right? You come on. I mean, you guys know what politics looks like. He knows exactly what the JOLTS data was. He already has a prepared response for it. So again, not necessarily great, but it's the same thing we saw yesterday. So again, gold did take a little bit of a spike off of that. Again, we're just retracing, I think, from yesterday. His comments, While you could say that, hey, listen, no decision is made, the market's going to look at that as favorable and saying, oh God, look, see, there's still a chance that they're not going to go crazy. Um, and again, this is just the stupidness of the market right now. It absolutely, they should look at this and be like, no decision is made, but I haven't seen jolts there, and then looked at jolts and been like, oh Jesus, right? Yeah, so I think we're good with this one. Ideally, you know what? I mean, we know what's coming later in the week. No, we know non-farm payroll is there. If we can get this to continue to go up, we could have a great selling opportunity later on this week. So again, go gold, rally, 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 rally. It's up 0.5. Silver's only up 0.75. So right now, it's not showing you what the consistent possibilities are. And again, you guys can see we talked about, hey, listen, it was a level at the 23.6. It was a big whip, but what's happening? It's obviously running into some problems. So who the heck is messaging me? Okay, it's okay. So yeah, I don't know. I kind of like where we're at with this one. Let me delete some of these. Whoops, take this off. I think I'm looking at this now. And again, the 23 was a bit choppy there, but look at this one right here on the 30-minute, how easy that is to see. Again, drop. Gotta love drawing candles like that. And look what we have in there, right? I mean, we could use the whole thing and encompass it in there, but I think, be a little more conservative on that one. I would say right now, like, man, can we like ask, can we get the rally? Like, can we get a rally to 1834.50, right? 1834.50, I think, could be a great sell level. You're going to have 50% fib, 50% fib traders in there. It's before the 61.8, and it's got a nice level for us, especially if it rallies up today. I think that could be good. I don't know if we can get there though. Maybe. I don't know. I was saying short when Powell was done speaking, but it looks like nobody cares what Powell has to say that today's going to be the short day after yesterday. So I think it's the market taking this and going a little bit too far again. And that's what got the market into trouble in the first place. I haven't seen the data. Well, the data said that you're not doing enough. So, and again, he's not wrong, right? We haven't made a decision yet about March. It's data dependent. Yes, they told us what the 3 data points needed to be. And so far, the data points are all looking like you need to go back to 0.5. So, yeah. So look for the 134. It's not a bad little short level. And again, a lot of chop back and forth on that. Silver doesn't even have the chop. I mean, silver has the base here, and that's what it's running into. So, yeah, we were looking for the push up and then the big drop. You guys can see yesterday. We were talking about a big sell. Yeah, the Europeans took it halfway, and the Americans continue to drive it home. So, again, this was a target. Didn't care about that one. 78 is hit. Let's take this one, go from top to bottom. And it's the same setup. Look at the 23.6 at a level right now. And the question is, can it stomach everything that Powell's going to say and then continue to push back down again? I mean, it's there, right? It's there. It looks very, very similar. So, but kind of the same thinking. If we can break through the top of this one, there is a racetrack. But I'll tell you right now, I would not want to be short. I'm sorry. I would not want to be long silver for the non-farm number on Friday, right? If the data carries over with jolts, if non-farm looks similar to what ADP does as well as jolts, it's going to be big. It'll be a positive number. So, and again, I would not want to be long silver for that one. So there's those two. Indices are all going to be screwed up today. Right now, again, they're all taking it very, very positive, but you can see they're not really changing trajectory. There was a lot of whip back and forth at 10 o'clock today. Obviously, a lot of indecision after yesterday's big drop. Again, this is, in all fairness, it's not really an opening print type morning. If you look at all the chop back in here, we'll drop this down to a 15-minute. You can see how much worse it was. Yeah. So here's the 9:15. Here's the 9. Was there any movement from 9 o'clock on? No. Was there really any movement if we open 9:30 here? Here's the 10 o'clock. At 9:30 and 10 o'clock, we were basically in the same exact spot, right? The 10:15 candle. Nobody knows what Powell's going to say. So, again, I think the volatility on it, there's no confirmed levels in either direction. I guess there's maybe, not really. I was going to say maybe there's one here, but it didn't touch. It would have been, I guess, the touch here. But, again, too much chop. So, again, no opening print. And, again, when the top Fed guy is talking, tends to be a thing. NQ, look at this. Even more chop back and forth. Now, NQ grabbed the level. I would have said this would have been quite risky. You could have traded that one. And again, it is the open where it came up. I'm not going to count it because it is not a confirmed level for for our purposes, what we were looking for. Technically, the confirmation would have came in at 9:30. And then could you have got into it here? Sure. And it did move back and forth. On the downside, same thing. I would say that it was, there was confirmations if you would have taken this level right here. But at the same time, this is already pushed through, touch, touch, touch. Like there's your 4 right there. There's your 5. You're like, this is not holding. And it didn't. It came down, it went back up again, and then kind of spiked. So not ideal. And look, spike up. I mean, look at this right here, right? The 8 o'clock number and 8:15. Spike up, spike down. Let's clear it. Spike up, spike down. Spike up, spike down. Spike up. Overall, would I want to be long all the indices today? Probably not, because again, I think they are going to talk about, how to get, what's going to happen next. And oh my God, the Jolt data was huge, and that's going to cause problems. So the reversal right now, I actually this rally right now, I actually wouldn't be surprised if this is really just a short squeeze. Right? What do I mean by short squeeze? When everybody sees bad data, they go short, and then the market goes up to stop all those people out, and then it drops. That's kind of what I would believe this is right now. I think it's just you, Ernest. I don't think I haven't seen it on my side, but maybe it is. Maybe. YM. Also, look at this drama. Right back and forth. It's like brushing your teeth. It's been flatline, no movement. The overnight, no confirmation. And there's a little confirmation there. You could have said that, hey, listen, this 8 o'clock confirmed this level up top. Would you have wanted to get short? Not really. Again, it's just so consolidated in with a zone at the bottom at 8. So again, just sideways. And then look, it's 0.01. What do you trade on this one? What? The big spike down with the spike back up. Market doesn't know how to take it. This actually looks like a short squeeze to me as well. Again, everybody trying to get short that data in time for it to get stopped out. And then, oh my God, maybe I'm wrong. And once they get out, it'll collapse. Russell's the only one with anything. And again, this is a big up, big down. Again, Russell's a little more optimistic. It took a big push down, broke through the kind of the bear trap, and then went straight back up again, and then pushed back down, and then came back up. And it's slightly higher. But for the most part, is it really out of its range? Nah, I mean, it's up 0.34. But is it really out of its opening print range? Nah, not really. We're sitting, opening print is right here. We're just a little bit above it, and we got some sellers. So, I mean, overall, Russell's taken what Powell is saying and be like, this is great. It's not decided yet. Oh, there you go. Crude oil, there's a little bit of a decrease this week. Yeah, again, I wasn't concerned about crude oil today because, again, all this. Hold on. No one should assume Fed can protect economy in a debt default. I wouldn't assume that. So I don't know if somebody's assuming that or not. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Everybody hates the Fed, and then it's like, hey, protect us. So, I don't agree with this one. But I do like this. I love this statement. We haven't made a decision, which I believe it's data dependent. 100% believe it's data dependent. And he can say he hadn't seen Jolts. That's a lie. But Jolt is also saying, listen, you need to go. Again, it's not a question of how high. They were talking about percentages, by the way, today. Before yesterday's speech, the likelihood of going to a 0.5 rate increase was 0.23%. After Powell's speech yesterday, a 0.5 increase percentage-wise was supposedly up to 63%. The common belief was that he was going to do a 0.5 increase. So we'll see. It's still there. Anyway, look at this. In the last 24 hours, you're starting to see everything kind of equal out again as we're kind of trying to prepare for what's going to be next. 3, 12, 1, 11, even 80 is not that great, and these out there are all equalizing out again. So again, they are preparing for the next big piece. Again, the shock is out, but now the preparation is going to be all for non-farm payroll. And that number can be, that one's going to get crazy, especially if this JOLTS data and the ADP number or any indication of what's about to come. Yeah, we got a big number coming as well. All right, let's go ahead and do the drawing today. So not as many of you guys in today. I did make it a 50 because obviously with yesterday. Who do we got in here? Ernest is not in, but he's already freezing. So I'm going to give him a second to get in because you guys know I'll hear about it if Ernest can't get in. Like an old lady, right? All right, he's in before. He's in before. So yeah, it is a 4 pip chip day today. Who are we missing? We got Ty in today. No Sean today. I gotta call Sean, make sure he's all right. Sean's in upstate Michigan. They still may be in the frozen tundra. So, until like June, it doesn't go below freezing where Sean lives. So, and everybody else is in. All right. All right. I will close it down. Here we go. Winner of today's drawing is, look at that, Will with 1. These are the days that Will is proud. He's like, you know what? I'm tempted every day to buy more than 1 to get those chances up. Every day I am tempted. And then this is why Will does this, right? Will, this is it. I'm telling you, right? He feels vindicated. Look at this, guys. I don't need 4. I can do it with 1. Look at that. And again, this is why, whoops, not that one. Right here. And And that is why he is our pip chip leader. All right. Give him his 50. All right, so that's it for today. I'll be back on tomorrow morning at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Look for some more headlines today. Again, I would expect it to be a little bit more tame today. And then again, in preparation for what we have coming on Friday. And I do think right now, I mean, again, we'll hear some comments from other Fed presidents as well. I can't wait to hear what Bullard has to say about this one. He's definitely got to be beating the war drum for 0.5. We'll see. We'll have and I want to see what Daly has to say. Right? Daly's also been very kind of hawkish. I'd like to see what I'd like to get some comments out of Daly today. I think that would help us as well. So anyway, with that said, I'm out of here. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Thank you again, and thanks. I'll see you then.